You are watching the Elevation Mentor Show, and today I have a very special guest, Kevin Kelley, attorney Kevin Kelley. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on today.
Okay, I'd like to start out and have you tell us who you are and what do you do?
Sure. My name is Kevin Kelley, and overall, I'm a servant. I'm a servant to the public. I work at a law firm called the Kelley Law Firm. That's my law firm. I have a restaurant called Kitchen and Cocktails by Kevin Kelley. I have a nightclub called Club Vivo. I own real estate, market investments, but through each of those different entities, my job is to serve the public. So I guess to sum it all up, I'm a servant. I work for people.
Okay, that is interesting. You have a lot going on. So,
Yeah, I do. I do.
all right. So, what is your background?
I'm an attorney by trade, but prior to going to the University of Houston and going to law school, I went to a HBCU called Paul Quinn College that's in South Dallas. That was a good school for me my undergrad education. I actually went to Paul Quinn because my mom worked there. And she said, "Hey, I'm working here. This is where you're going to go to school." And that ended up working out well for me. From Dallas, Texas. I'm based in Dallas, Texas now. And that's pretty much my story. That's my background.
Okay, sounds good. Dallas is nice. I was out there to Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas is a beautiful place. The weather is good. Every other year or so we may get snow. It's a pretty safe place. The people are very friendly, very nice, and so I'm happy to call Dallas home.
Okay. So, tell us about your businesses.
Yeah, well, the Kelly Law Firm was my first business that I started. I started that straight out of law school, and I saw that there was a need in the minority community for there to be representation in personal injury and wrongful death accidents by people who look like us, who share similar experiences to us growing up. And when I say us, I mean Black people. And so I brought the Kelly Law Firm, actually it was Kelly and another partner at the time, into the market. And we had a decent amount of success by representing African Americans who've been injured and killed in accidents. Even to this day, a lot of people don't know that the law firm is my primary business. And I do have Kitchen and Cocktails by Kevin Kelley. I've got Club Vivo. I've got a new concept coming to market this summer called Canvas. However, the law firm is my primary occupation.
Okay, that's interesting. So, what advice would you give to someone who is interested in getting into the restaurant business?
Man, I would tell them they can do it. That's probably the first bit of advice I would give them, to tell them that they can do it, because I've done it. I've only been in food, beverage, and entertainment, I'll say, with my club for the past 4 years. And in 4 years, I've had a decent amount of success because I've got a fantastic team around me. And so if anybody has interest in getting into the restaurant business, number one, you can do it. Number two, make sure you do your research well to determine what type of concept you want to open, where you want to be located, what you want to define your concept, who's going to manage your concept, what role will you play, and also capitalization too. That's really, really important. You want to make sure you have the money to build a business that's going to be successful, because that's a big part of things also.
Okay, so do your research. Um,
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to open a restaurant just because well, I cook good food, so I'm going to open a restaurant. Well, that's cool, but it's a business also. And so how do you take it from just being something that you know how to do into something that can be revenue generating and provide for you and provide for your family?
okay. So as far as the net profit,
Mhm.
how much net profit does one restaurant make in a month?
Well, it depends. You have some that will do 3% of revenue per month. You have some that do 25% of revenue per month. It really depends on the business.
Okay. How about in dollars?
In dollars. That really depends too. You have some restaurants that may do 50,000 a year. You have some that are on the top 100 independent chains list that do 35 million plus per year. And so it really depends on the restaurant concept. It's hard to say, well, if you open a hot dog stand, you're going to make 500,000. You could have a hot dog concept that does maybe 5 to 10 million per year, like maybe a Portillo or Portillo's does. Is it Portillo or Portillo's?
Portillo.
But like a Portillo's does, right? And then you may have somebody who opens up a hot dog stand like one in New York, and maybe they do $100,000 a year, but that's enough to provide for their family. So it really depends.
Okay. So it depends. It varies.
Yeah. And that's where other factors come in, such as the money you have to open an operation, because maybe that vendor on the corner is selling the same hot dog as a big brand, but they're on the corner with a cart, as opposed to having a brick and mortar location where you've got televisions for the game to be watched. You're selling beers. You have staff that's dressed different. You have different marketing and different advertising. So, it depends on how much invested you are in the business, what your returns will be.
Okay, is the restaurant business like I heard that the restaurant business was one of the hardest businesses. Oh, is it difficult to set up and get started?
They say it is, but I think everything is difficult depending on how you look at things. I think it's very difficult to be unemployed. I think it's
Uh,
difficult to have a job and to work hard at your job. I
you get-
think life is just a matter of choosing which difficult you want to partake. For me, I like to choose the difficulties that come with being in business, and I like those challenges.
That is an excellent point. I didn't look at it like that. That's an excellent point. So, for someone who's interested in starting a restaurant business, what would be like, okay, after you do your research, what would be the first step?
Well, the first step is to understand what type of restaurant you want to open. Do you believe you have a great hamburger recipe that nobody else has? Maybe you want a hamburger stand. Do you think you make the best hot dogs? Maybe a hot dog stand. Perhaps you think you can make fantastic pizzas. Like I think I can make pretty good pizzas, right? Maybe a pizza restaurant is for you. I ultimately believe you should open what you're interested in, what you like, and what you enjoy. If you're surrounded by things that you believe in and have passion for, it will give you the fuel on difficult days to keep going.
Okay. As far as your restaurants, where are they located and what kind of foods are you serving there?
Thank you. My first location of Kitchen and Cocktails by Kevin Kelley is in Dallas, Texas. We have another location that's in Chicago and River North. The third one we're opening up this summer is in downtown Washington, D.C.
Oh
The food
wow.
we serve is comfort food, shrimp and grits, chicken and waffles, catfish, yams, mac and cheese. We have an elevated bar program as well. So we have fantastic cocktails such as our peach juice frozen, our black magic cocktail where we have dried ice and it looks like smoke's coming from it. And so that's what we do. That's our fare when it comes to food, when it comes to drink, those items that I mentioned and a number of other things that are similar.
Okay. How can people watching support your businesses?
Well, they can come visit us in Dallas and Chicago at Kitchen and Cocktails by Kevin Kelley, but also check us out online too, though. Kitchen Cocktails USA, and that's cocktails with a K. Kitchen Cocktails USA. Those are our handles, and that'll show you the food that we have and the drinks that we have. And maybe you're on vacation to Dallas, Chicago, or to Washington, D.C., and you have a chance to stop in and we can serve you then.
Okay. I think what you're doing is awesome. But
Thank you. I love it because I love my food. I love the drinks. I think it's the best comfort food in the country. But I love my staff also. We employ hundreds of people through the restaurant, and we've got a lot of fantastic people that we work with. We've got every minority you can think of that are in positions of power when it comes to management, front of the house and back of the house. And I love that we're able to give opportunities to those persons and that those people are also able to serve the public with me.
okay. So you spoke on this a little bit earlier, but what advice would you give to someone who is not doing well right now? They're laid off or they're fired.
Yeah. I would just tell them that after the rain, the sun always comes out. Perspective is a lot. Perspective is everything. If you keep the right mindset and if you can understand that you're having a difficult season now, but the seasons change, that will encourage you to keep working hard, to keep pushing forward. Maybe you're applying for a job somewhere, or in multiple places, and you're not getting any responses, any feedback. Well, if you keep going through that process, if you're working hard enough, that season will turn and you will have success and you will have your opportunity. And so I guess in summary, that's maybe a more detailed version of saying just to not give up. Just keep pushing hard, keep pushing ahead, and believe in God, believe in a greater power, and good times will come to you if you're faithful and if you are good to others.
Okay. Um, in terms of your businesses, like you have several businesses, right?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
so are you interested in mentoring people who maybe there's someone who wants to become an attorney or someone who wants to get into the restaurant business or someone who wants to get into the club business? Are you open to mentoring people?
Yeah, I think it's important that I give back. I think that's a very important thing. It's hard for me to have a lot of new one-on-one relationships just because I get a lot of requests. I get those requests almost every day.
Oh, yeah.
At least 3, 4 times a week, I get those requests. And so what I try to do is to at least answer any questions that come my way and to try to be visible on my social media platform, on my Instagram page, at Attorney Kevin Kelley. On that page, I'll put quotes, I'll put business information, you'll see my concepts. And maybe by seeing somebody else doing it, that's a way that people can kind of be mentored from afar. There are a number of people that I look at and I admire their success and I watch them from afar. And that's how I kind of build a mentorship relationship that may not be as organic as talking to someone face to face or grabbing someone's hand, but I'm able to look at videos, take in information and use that information to make me better. or try to make myself better.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book is Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun?
Okay.
And that's a
Yeah,
book by
I have that book.
Good, by Reginald Lewis, who's my frat brother, a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. He was the first Black billionaire. Unfortunately, he passed before his time, so he wasn't able to have much greater success, which he definitely would have been a multi-billionaire if he continued. But he laid a really good example for me, you, and many other people who are going to read his, or who have or will read his book.
That book is this thick. Like,
Not that big. That book is an easy read, but it's a good one though.
please.
Regardless of how thick it is, the information in there is definitely worth reading.
Okay. Where's your favorite place to travel?
My favorite place to travel is probably Paris. I lived in Paris.
Okay.
I enjoy Paris quite a bit. I like the restaurants. I like the culture of the people there. So outside of America, I would probably say Paris.
I have never been to Paris. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, Paris is a fantastic place. In America, I like Miami a lot. And in Mexico, I like Cancun. I'm a big Cancun fan.
Okay, I've been to Cancun. So I got to get to Paris. What is your favorite food?
Pizza. Pizza is my favorite food. Despite me selling so much comfort food, shrimp and grits, chicken and waffles, I must have been Italian in another life because I love pizza. And who knows, maybe I'll have a pizza place one day and I can put a little extra seasoning like we do sometimes on that pizza to make it fantastic too.
That's mine too. It's a tie between pizza and soul food, but I'm changing over to healthy. I just got a Tabitha Brown's cookbook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
What
congratulations. I know you'll do well on the health path you're pursuing.
Okay, so we're going to switch over to love. Just one question. Tell us one thing that you learned about money when it comes to relationships.
You know what? I don't know about money in relationships because every relationship is different. So I can't really give any advice on that because I want to be mindful and respectful of people who have different financial situations. And ultimately, I think it probably comes down to care. The two most important things in this world are probably ideas and love. And money's not one of those two in my book. And so I think that's probably a private matter for people to figure out.
All right.
I'm sorry I couldn't give you more on that one. I apologize.
All right. Where can people contact you if they want to reach out and contact you?
Sure, on Instagram at attorney Kevin Kelley. That's KevinKelley. I have a lot of people that communicate with me through that Instagram page, and that's a cool way for me to contact back.
Okay, at attorney Kevin Kelley.
And let me tell you what too before we end the interview. I think your platform is fantastic. I respect you. I respect what you're trying to do, and I respect the questions because what you're doing is you are developing a platform so people can have access to information. And maybe they don't know of me, maybe they don't know of someone else, but you're giving a lot of people access to information that can make them better through the experiences of other people. So I just want to tip my hat to you and tell you job well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the last question is, did you have any last words to leave for the audience?
No, just my thanks to you for your platform. And, beyond, a lot of times you see people who are successful and you say, hey, I want that success, but it's always hard work that comes with having success. So I would just encourage people to work hard. 40 hours a week is only going to get you so much. Taking risk is only going to get you so much as well. And so take risk, put the work in, and I think rewards will come from it. Okay. That's all we got. But beyond that, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for having me on your platform. And this has been fantastic. Your attitude was fantastic even before we had the questions. And this has been cool also. So I can't thank you enough for your time.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Okay, you too.